Hello and welcome to Pens, Paint and Whiskers. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try it and see how it works. I'm going to do some mermen scales. I've already drawn them and painted in partially. So today, working in my large Ohuhu waterbound or spiral bound sketchbook, I'm going to do these beauties. So this is a work in progress, and to do this, simple enough plan I have in mind. Put some metallic glitter substance on them and highlighter scales, and show everyone how I do such a thing. This is my travel box. I work on this. This would be my main materials I use. Relatively inexpensive little tray. And in it I must make a video where I go through all of these materials. But this is my main pen for making things shiny and glittery. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And for these mermen here, I like to highlight these scaly creatures in a gold. So this is a Signo ballpoint gold pen. And I see the ink level is not looking too great, but hopefully we'll get through the video with it. And this is my Pentel hybrid white gel pen. So these would be the three main pens that I use. This one, I bought this in Arts and Hobby. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's annoyingly enough, it doesn't say the brand on it anywhere. But what it is it's a little glitter pen. And you squeeze it and some glitter has already came out. So good to go. There's lots and lots of glitter in it. See, it's quite shiny. So these mermen here, they're part of an ongoing sort of story or scenario of mine. And this fellow here is a vampire, and he is on a ship, and it is the 1800s, early 19th century. He needs quite a lot of characterization, and as you can see, he doesn't have fangs, he has squid tentacles. So I always think that's quite an unusual feature. But these mermen, or this merman, who is sadly beached, I'm going to make him quite shiny and scaly. So I have painted him already I have markered him already. So he is Ohuhu alcohol markers in black and the darkest grey. I might do another little tutorial video of that one day. So what I do is I'll pick out the bits, the highlights, the parts of him facing the sun or the light, and just paint away on him. I'm quite liberal with my glitter strokes, and I will be uploading this on Instagram and Cara and probably DeviantArt, and probably even YouTube. We might get even more of a YouTube video, maybe when I highlight more of the waves and the sand, and when I ink Captain's facial features in here. So this poor fellow has been beached, and Captain here decides when he sees him that he's hungry. He might as well take the opportunity and sample what merman blood tastes like. I imagine he's a large merman, so I'd imagine they have quite a lot in them, maybe 15 pints. Humans, do we have 10 maybe? He's quite a long body, so I'd imagine he has quite a lot. And just making sure his shoulder here is highlighted. Ah, yes. That's the thing about these type of push pens. Sometimes I don't like them because there is quite a lack of control. They can go quite dry. And then when they do go quite dry, you can squeeze them a little bit and suddenly glitter goes everywhere or ink goes everywhere. But we'll work away at it. So I'm highlighting or liberally going over his entire body in this shiny pen. If I can find out what the pen is, I will hopefully be able to put it in my description. And they were relatively cheap. I think they came in a packet of 2 or 3, and I took a chance with it. I always like something glittery, especially for creatures I work on, like mer people and dragons. This would be a good technique for dragons, actually, because they too have shimmery scales. So poor guy is being not very nice things happening, but I try to soften that whole aspect of it. I have an idea that moments of horror would be quite interesting to contrast it with really soft pastel colours. And now this would be my only regret, these 2 little sort of comic panels, in that I should have done the sky a red, but again, I'm not sure would it work with the rest of these pastel colours, because Captain here is not going to have much colours on him. I imagine his kind of vampire, I like to think his coloration is a little bit maybe cold, maybe dead, maybe a little bit like a squid, a little bit grey. Now, so these, I was quite liberal doing that. So that would be the base coat of glitter, so to speak. Now, so yeah, already you can see, I don't know if you can see, but in the light, it's already created quite a nice shine. And I'm always careful, especially filming, that any of my materials are not flammable, because you might not be able to see it in this video, but there is a little flame there. So always check. Yeah, so I'm going to highlight them then in gold. So this is my Signo Gold ballpoint pen, and very, very useful. So again, with mer people, I don't do every scale. I just do the highlights, sort of as he's lying on the beach, the ones that would catch the light. So on his shoulders and hips along here, and his arm and flank along here, so they would catch the sun, I'd imagine. Would be quite a nice effect. So hopefully this is dry. Yeah, seems to be. So again, I'm quite liberal and loose with my scales. There's no set rules for scaled creatures, and certainly not mythical scaled creatures. So I'm trying to follow a curve. As you can see, there's a natural curve of his body. He's got quite a long, sleek body. So yeah, I think that's worked quite nicely. And I imagine he's got a spine along here, so I might just do a little tiny hint of it there. Yeah, it's looking good. And yeah, all along his shoulders. So this scaling and prettying up of creatures, it doesn't actually take long. You can be very intricate with their scales if you do all of the scales. every single one. I've seen some artists do that, and that's not wrong too. I myself just like to pick out a little highlighted part and do little tiny C's all interwoven. I might give him some cheek scales. So now he has cheek scales. He's quite pretty. But unfortunately, I don't think he's too long for the world. But I have a overarching sort of battle between these mermen and these nautical captain here, nautical vampire. I like to think that once there's for the mermen and their school, they're constantly on the lookout, and we made a boo-boo. Boo-boo. No, we have not. Constantly on the lookout for food, and food to them would be mainly, well, everything in the sea, but a particular treat would be these guys, hence why they might have opinions or have designs on sinking any vessels. And Captain here looks at these mermen and has particular designs on them. Maybe their blood is a particular treat to him. He might have had a long voyage, and he might be sick of seals or sick of fish, and thinks of these guys and thinks they'd be quite nice. Again, I'm not sure what merman blood tastes like, but I'd imagine it's quite weak and salty. But Captain here, I don't think is too particular either. So yeah, he's got quite a bit of scales going on, and yeah, try to get the direction of the scales consistent. So even in his last moments, he has to look his best, I think. There we go. And the very last one. So yes, that's his fin, his tail fin curled around, and this is his flank that's shown horrible signs. It's the muscles and the musculature have been already drained out. Forgive me for the body horror. It's not to everyone's taste, but I do like the idea of how these creatures might eat and prey and hunt. And the captain here, I'd imagine he's quite a soft-spoken gentleman of his era and quite well respected, but at the same time there's also a very bestial quality in him. I like that contrast. So this merman here is looking very shiny, very nice, if I do say so myself. So once I have picked them out in gold, sometimes I leave them, but for this video I'm not going to leave them. I'm going to highlight tiny little bits in white. I'm very sparing with my white, but this time maybe we'll see how we go. So what I would be looking for is the sun or the light source hitting where it hits him first, so his shoulder, and less so of his hip, and maybe none of his spine. So I'm just going to very gently follow the curve of the scales too, and be very sparing with this, because sometimes this white gel pen, it's such a good gel pen, what it does is it blots out anything under it, so we might lose a little bit of gold scales, but that's okay too. Like with art, is one of the great things in life, that there's no real right or wrong. It's just different techniques. Now, sometimes I would smudge with my fingertip, but I'm not going to, because I like the white conciseness. Now, so this sun, now there's no sun here obviously because I like to set it at dusk, or I like to imagine it's dusk. But again, his shoulder, so essentially the highest point in his body, his shoulder and his hip, I'm going to highlight a tiny little amount of gold scales in white, and see how we go from there. So all along his hip, I like to think that the poor guy is lying out on the beach, and he's relieved to see somebody, or the shadow of somebody, fall on him, and think, oh, help, I can get back into the sea where I can breathe normally. But not to be, sadly. Now, so this is his shoulder. I don't think I'll highlight his cheeks, but I'll do some on his shoulder. Maybe one or two on his eye. So sometimes it's a fine balance. Sort of, you don't want things to look too white and too highlighted. And most of the time, I just go with whatever comes out, whatever the final result is. I don't put too much planning on things. We'll do all along his tail. So this tentacle here, I imagine that Captain has quite an interesting feature in that his jaw might very well be able to open very, very wide, or even detach, and out come tentacles. And would imagine that's quite a sight. And he would be quite the body horror icon. But now, so yeah, so in this one, his merman's cheek is highest to the light source. So I'll do more on his cheek, but very little, but more than his shoulder. So yeah, so some of the scales underneath don't need a white highlight. Yeah, there we go. And I'll do a little bit on his eye. His the last moments, what he sees is a navy man, and in his lovely uniform and pristine, and tentacles. I do like that idea that he may be captain here. He may be a gentleman, but when he's hungry, and who knows how long his voyage has been and how arduous it has been, and he's probably been eating seals and drinking herring blood or something, and suddenly there's a merman. And merman and his kind have been sinking ships for quite some time. So yeah, so he's got a little sort of ridge as he's been beached and left there. So I've only picked out a very small amount of highlights. So mainly that's all I do. I spend 10-15 minutes highlighting scales. Now what you can do, or sometimes I would do it again, I would go back and highlight again. I hope the ink gel pen is dry. They usually take not so very long. So and sometimes they're a pump action sort of pen, and they need a little bit of a shake. So I'm going to try it, and hopefully it doesn't smudge. I imagine these mermen have quite a lovely shimmer to them, in black, kind of an underneath. Maybe there's a coppery look in particular sunny conditions. Now, that's smudged a little tiny bit, so I'm going to be extra careful along here Sometimes the white gel pen doesn't quite stand up. But as it's smudging, I think that's actually okay. Sometimes you don't want things to look too glaring and too white. But I'm going to be extra careful on his lovely shoulder here. Yeah, this is mainly it. And these mermen, quite sirens, male sirens in and of themselves, I would imagine are very pretty too. They're like those fancy goldfish that some of them, they're very black, but in particular shiny or light conditions they get a coppery sort of effect. I haven't yet learned to make a convincing copper under black, but they're an experiment all the time, as all art is, of course. So it's quite dull in the white in parts, but that's okay. It's given quite a nice effect. Sometimes, as I say, the white can look a little bit too shiny and too not fake, but a little bit too like something metallic and inorganic. So, and I must highlight his fins and his hair and eyes, and maybe Captain's too. Now, Captain is not going to have any more skin colour because, as I said, he's quite grey. He's a little bit squid-like in coloration too, so I do like the fact that everyone around him is maybe a warm, healthy, peachy colour, and he's the only one with this strange pallor and strange eye colour. Now, so I'm going to let him dry, and then I will be picking out highlights, and like I say, this will go up on Instagram, Cara, and DeviantArt. So that's him painted and highlighted, and that's mainly what I do for every scaled creature: merman, mermaid, dragon, or sometimes naga, or anything else that requires scales. I like to pick them out in highlights just to emphasize they are extra shiny and metallic and even glittery. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.